How many times have you gotten caught in the trap of not having enough experience to get experience? Especially if you're trying to break into a new field or niche like social media marketing, this is so common. In today's video, I want to talk to you about how to get experience in social media marketing. All right, let's talk about how to escape that loop of have to have experience to get experience, to have experience to get experience, and how to get rid of that once and for all. And then let's get into the do's and don'ts of social media. And yes, there are probably a lot of don'ts that you see all the time. Let's squash those and make sure that you never fall into those. And then I want to tell you some of the tricks that I wish that someone told me about marketing on different social media platforms. When I first started my business, I was a social media manager, and I've grown and scaled my business to become a social media and video marketing agency that just crossed over $2 million in revenue. But when I first started, I struggled with you have to have experience to get experience. You know, some people would say, well, can I see some examples of your work? Or how long have you been doing this for? I just want to help you to overcome that so that you don't have to stumble over those answers, that your work can speak for itself. And the more you actually lead with that confidence, people won't even think to ask you that question. There are ways that you can find experience right away. Part of it could be having your own social media accounts that are doing really well. And sometimes that can be something we put on the back burner because we want to take care of our clients first, which is understandable, but making sure that you're spending a little bit of time on your own social media accounts, maybe it's your Facebook, your Instagram, your YouTube, that's going to be a great portfolio for potential clients to see, well, they're putting effort and they're getting results and they're reaching an audience that you can show them from your own experience what you're creating for yourself. You might also consider taking on internship opportunities from credible businesses that might look really good on your resume. It might look really good on your resume to get that referral or to get a recommendation from a business that has authority, and to say that you worked for them could look really good when you're promoting yourself to other businesses. There's also tons of websites where you can bid on freelancer opportunities that people will go on these sites all the time, like Upwork, Fiverr, Indeed, where they can actually be looking for someone to work with them on these projects. And you can submit your resume, some of your previous work, and bid on the job and actually apply to work with them on these platforms. That would be a great way to get experience. Now, the other way that has been really valuable for a lot of social media marketers is to take on free or discounted work. Now, I also want to give you a disclaimer with that, is that when you discount your services, people may discount your skills. I really believe that when people pay, they pay more attention. So even if you went to a company and proposed, hey, could I do this project for you? I'm just gonna charge you, and maybe you say you're gonna charge them cost or something that just, they're still investing something so that they care about it. So they are invested in the result that you're bringing them. So maybe you approach a local company and say, hey, I'd love to be able to test out this service on you, or I'd like to create these videos for you or create this content for you. And because this is an industry I haven't worked in before, or because this is a new experience for me, I'd love to do this for you at cost or at this lowered price point. That can be a really great way for you both to get experience and quality work. All right, now that we've gotten you out of the trap of gotta have experience to get experience, let's talk about the do's and don'ts of social media marketing. As a social media manager, it's really important that you're putting out quality service for your clients so that they'll refer you. You'll be able to get more people. You'll have incredible results to show on your portfolio. So let's talk about the do's and the don'ts. Starting with the do's, have a strategy. We're not just creating content for the sake of content. We're not just throwing spaghetti at the wall and seeing what sticks. The most basic strategy is to know that every single piece of content is accomplishing these three objectives: lead generation, lead nurture, and lead conversion. How is every single piece of content generating a lead, nurturing them towards a sale, and then converting them into the sale? So consider that with every piece of content that you create. The next do's are research, and that includes competitor research and trend research. When you're creating any kind of content, creating your social media strategy, what are the trends? What are the competitors doing? And you can kind of learn what to do and what not to do with this research. Maybe you see a competitor in this space that is just crushing it with a strategy, or you might see a competitor that's flopping with a certain strategy. You can learn a lot from what not to do as well. And then look at the trends. What are people talking about on social media that maybe you can ride that wave, ride the noise, and be able to get involved in? A couple years ago, the ALS Ice Bucket Challenge was a huge trend and was really fun to watch these videos. That if there's a way that you can get involved in things that are popular, that can be a great way to boost your content and boost the business on social media. The next 3 do's I'm going to pair together because they really go hand in hand, and it's to know your client avatar, know your message, and know your branding. Those 3 become like an ecosystem for your content because obviously the message that you're going to create is for the client avatar that you're speaking to. The branding that you're going to create aligns with your message and aligns with that customer avatar. So knowing the demographic that you're speaking to, knowing your message, knowing your branding all goes hand in hand, and then keeping that consistent for all of your strategy and for all of your content is so important for that consistency and brand loyalty. Another great strategy that I love to do with social media marketing is to repurpose your content. Maybe you have a video that you put out on YouTube that did really well. Maybe you can grab a little snippet of that video, maybe like a 30-second clip that then turns into a little mini video that you can put on your Facebook or on your Instagram or your Instagram stories with a call to action to, hey, go watch the rest of this video on YouTube. Wherever you can repurpose content, that's going to expand your content inventory. Even taking a script or taking pieces of a blog and turning that into shorter social media posts or tweets, that's a great way to get your content to work for you and reach more people with less effort. The other do as a social media manager that I recommend you do is to outsource when you can. I am constantly looking at the activities that I'm doing in my business, and I'm kind of categorizing them by what do I do well? What do I not do so well that I could potentially outsource to someone who's much better at it? And what do I do that's actually in my superpower, that's actually generating more revenue for the business? Even though I might be good at video editing, that's taking the time away from the strategic things I could be doing, or speaking to groups, or speaking on stages, or working with high-ticket clients that I want to be able to elevate my skill set and bring in more revenue for the business, and I could outsource some of those tasks to people who would be thrilled to do it and free up my time so I can work more in my superpower, which will continue to grow and scale the business. And the last but the most important do on this to-do list is to tell stories in your content. I recommend for every social media marketer, any business, any entrepreneur to create a story inventory. In your content, the things that are going to captivate your audience the most is when you share stories. Think about stories in general. How much did you as a kid maybe use stories as an excuse for why you couldn't go to bed at night? You're like, I just need one more story. We kind of do that with consuming content on social media. I don't know about you, but I have had many nights where I stayed up past my bedtime because I was just stuck in the scroll and consuming people's content and their storytelling. And the best entrepreneurs, the best marketers are the ones that spend more time on the storytelling because that's what captivates an audience and gets them to know, like, and trust you. So think about the origin story of the business. Think about the origin stories of the individuals involved in the business. Think about those turning points or those moments, those pivotal moments that can become a story that your audience will resonate with and feel like they want to be part of this movement. So now that I've gone through the do's, I'm going to get into the don'ts, but I want to hear from you. How many of these are you currently doing? Tell me in the comments below. All right, let's get into the don'ts. Do not do these things. If you want to make a pledge right now, promise to me, insert your name, promise I will not do these things for the sake of my business and my social media marketing. All right, you ready for it? The first one is one that unfortunately a lot of people fall into, especially when they're new on social media, and it's that they buy followers. Unfortunately, people, when they start on these new social media platforms, they think, oh, if I have more followers, I'll look more credible. I'll look like I'll have more authority. And there's these sites where you can buy a bunch of followers for really cheap. Like you can even buy like 1,000 followers for like $20. It's not worth it. And here's why. First of all, your metrics will be all skewed. You won't know what's real. You won't know if your engagement rates are good, because if you've bought 1,000 followers, but only 10 of them are real, what if all 10 of them are lifers and they're engaged and they're commenting on everything, but then you have 990 fake bots that aren't engaging? Your metrics are skewed, and then the algorithm thinks that you're not actually a valuable social media account, so they're not going to put you in front of more people. So this is a huge disadvantage. Do not buy followers. The other thing about buying followers is that although you may think that that vanity metric of looking like you have more followers makes you look credible, it may actually make you look untrustworthy, because it's kind of clear to see people who have bought followers, because you can see that maybe their account says that they have thousands of followers, but no one liking or commenting. It's kind of easy to see that this person has done something that's not really in integrity. So don't do it. The other don't is always selling all the time. That if all your posts are like, hey, buy this, and here's this thing, and blah, 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 and here. What I would recommend is having an 80-20 rule, where 80% of your posts are value, relationship building, nurturing, and 20% of the post is asking for a sale, is, hey, click the link below to buy this thing. You've probably seen those ads or people that you follow on social media that just come across like they're bombarding you, they're pushy, they're salesy. You probably know as a potential customer or as a follower that doesn't feel good. So you don't want to give that feeling to someone else either. And the other don't I'll leave you with is don't try to be on every platform at once. Sure, we talked about repurposing in the do's, that can help you to be on other platforms, but I would just recommend be on the platforms that you know your audience is on, where you can actually reach them. Double down on your strategy there. And if that's working well, maybe you can, try to work around on other platforms. But I would just recommend own where your audience is and own where you do well. Before we move on, I noticed you haven't subscribed to this channel. Go ahead and click that subscribe button. If you're an entrepreneur and you're looking to up-level your business and turn into an infinite cash flow system, I am putting videos out like this every single week. So make sure that you hit that subscribe button. I've certainly had my fair share of all of those do's and don'ts. I've experienced a lot of them. I've tested a lot of them, and I've had to learn the hard way from a lot of them. When I first started as a social media manager, I was actually a dental hygienist. I was working 9 to 5 in a dental office, cleaning teeth all day. I know, pretty boring. And I started doing social media for the dental office, just between patients, because I'm a creative person who was looking for that creative outlet. And I would just tell stories about the other hygienists or the dentists and tell kind of these fun stories. I would make up stories about our office goldfish, or I would tell cool stories about our patients. And our social media accounts started to grow, and we got people that would come in saying, hey, I heard about you on social media. So after seeing some of that success, the IT guy at our dental office said, hey, could I refer you to do social media for one of my other clients? And I was like, well, I mean, sure. I didn't know that this could be a business at the time. Well, he referred me to all of his clients. And then all of a sudden I had this business, and I didn't even know really that I could make money doing this. And I kind of stumbled into it just by creating content that I enjoyed consuming. I see it on a lot of social media accounts for businesses that they put up these fun facts or memes or quotes. And instead I look to create stories that would allow the audience to connect with the people at the business instead of fun facts about teeth or how often you should floss. Like, I wanted to tell the stories about the people, because that's what brought people into the office, because they felt like they knew the people behind that Facebook account. So consider that when you're creating your own content, is how can you actually allow your audience to connect with the people? And also ask yourself, would I be interested in this content? If you want to learn more about creating content that converts into cash flow and can become a cash flow system for your business, I have a training on exactly that. You can click the link below to get access to that today for free.